All right, hello everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Pick a Side. We got a special guest here today.
Yes, sir.
Facundo. He's a friend of John Carlos's. And Riv is not here today because Riv had a personal issue. But okay, we're going to do this show. So look, right now, there's a playoff game going on right now.
It's the score.
It's the Bucks and the Miami Heat.
Yep.
So, real quick, do you think that the Heat have what it takes to upset the Milwaukee Bucks? I want to hear your takes on it.
You go first?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. First and foremost, I want to start off the show by saying that in this series, I have Milwaukee winning in 5. I know you're a Heat fan, and I know everybody's giving me a lot of backlash for that. Right. But can Miami upset? Yeah. I mean, you saw in the regular season, I think Miami actually beat them in the regular season, had a better regular season record, or at least tied. Bam Adebayo is somebody that you can put on Giannis Antetokounmpo, build a wall. You got Jimmy Butler. Got Goran Dragic, who's playing really well. It's a deep team. You got a rookie, Tyler Hero, who can come hit shots. You got Duncan Robinson, who can space the floor. Jay Crowder is not a slouch. So they have the personnel to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. God forbid Giannis doesn't come to play. I mean, you're going to lean on Chris Middleton. No disrespect to Chris Middleton. He's a really good player, but you need Giannis Antetokounmpo to play and play well. So I think this series he's going to play well. Being the fact that a lot of people were making jokes in the regular season saying that the Miami Heat locked them up, which they did that 1 or 2 games. So I think he's coming, and I think he's gonna really get them out of here in 5 games. That's my opinion. But can Miami win and upset? Yes, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, those are good points. Well, I want to start off by saying shout out to these guys for letting me be on the podcast.
Sure.
Big fan. These guys have a lot of potential for sure. But can Miami win? Yeah, they could win. Anything can happen in the East, And I think I want to start by saying that I'm not sold 100% on Giannis as the guy. Like, he walks on the court and he's not LeBron, he's not Kawhi, he's not Kevin Durant. Like, it's not like
true.
If any of those players were on the court, it wouldn't even be a question, But these are the games that make Giannis. So, last year bounced in the Eastern Conference, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago, I think semis.
Yeah.
MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, reigning MVP, possible MVP, back-to-back MVPs. This shouldn't even be a question, and we're questioning it. So I'm not sold on Giannis. So can they win? Yeah, Spoelstra's a good coach. The Heat are an actual team. Great players. Goran, Tyler Heroes gets buckets. Iggy brings that experience.
He's
got chips.
No slouch.
Duncan Robinson shooting lights out.
Bam.
I'd say there's a 70% chance Bucks win. There's a 30% chance the Heat win.
How many games if the Heat win? How many do you think? You think it would
2
go
max. 2 max. If they win 3, there's obviously a game 7, and anything can happen in game 7. Barring injury, Giannis, everyone healthy. The Bucks are the clear team, the better team in the East. Like, out the East, Vegas has had them all year, a huge favorite to come out the East. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks in 5 if they're playing lights out. Bucks in 6 if Miami get a little hot.
What do you think, Joel?
You brought up a great point about people questioning Giannis.
That is true.
We question Giannis because he doesn't have a great handle. He doesn't have any moves. But he's so strong that he can get to the basket anytime he wants. But he can't shoot still, even though today he made a couple threes. So we question Giannis so much, and that's why it's hard for me to pick Milwaukee. Eric Bledsoe isn't playing right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's actually of a benefit. That's a benefit to the Bucks because there's no spacing on the floor when Bledsoe is there.
Because he can't shoot.
So now you have George Hill slotted in that spot. Now they have more spacing. But I'm just not sold on Milwaukee.
As a team?
Oh, damn.
I'm not sold on Milwaukee.
That's what's up.
I think I'm gonna pick the Heat to win.
How many?
And
games?
I'm gonna pick the Heat to win in 6 games.
Tripping, dog.
They're gonna win in 6 games, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Milwaukee can't guard the 3-point ball. I think Miami's the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA. And when it comes to guarding Giannis, they can guard Giannis.
They have individual defenders.
They can build a wall. You got Bam. You got Olynyk. You got Iggy. You got Crowder. You got Jimmy. You got real good defenders.
Yeah.
And then what? So let's say if Bam and Jay Crowder and these guys build a wall on Giannis, Now Chris Middleton got to hit shots. If Jimmy's on Chris Middleton, I trust Jimmy to win that matchup on defense against Chris Middleton. Yeah. I'm just not sold on the Bucks because outside of the guys like Eric Bledsoe, I don't trust him at all.
Mm-hmm. He's nice. Eric Bledsoe.
He's not bad.
After what I seen last year in the Eastern Conference Finals,
he shot him out the games, right?
Yeah,
he completely shot him out.
Yeah, but that was Toronto with Kawhi. That's
what Toronto did to Eric Bledsoe last year in the Eastern Conference Finals is what Houston has been doing to Luguentz Dort in the first round.
Let him shoot.
You just let him shoot all the time, 9, bro. So bad. I'm just not sold on Milwaukee because Giannis is gonna be Giannis. He's gonna be great on defense, but Chris Middleton was horrible against the Magic, and if he plays like that, it's over.
Nah, he was playing. Did you watch some of the game today? He's playing
well.
Good.
Very well. He's playing well.
Giannis, the thing about Giannis, I think what's gonna separate him, what's gonna bring him to like elite stardom, like get this, we need to lock this dude up, is a turnaround mid-range, like a mid-range shot, because he can go to the post whenever he wants. He can literally walk in there.
He's stronger.
He can shoot the three all right. He's
gotten better. It's not consistent. You'd rather him shoot.
If he can turn around jumper or baseline mid-range jumper,
it opened his game. I agree.
Unbelievable. He could shoot the free throw, so you can't hack a Shaq. So that would really, and just obviously winning. Like he's got to go to the finals. If he doesn't go to the finals, he can lose the finals, but he's got to go to the finals to be elite.
I agree. Is that much pressure 100%. On him? You're the number one team in the league record-wise.
I just think I'm in love with Miami as a team. Even though I doubted them throughout the whole regular season, I didn't think Miami was going to be this good. But, I mean, nobody knew they were going to get the best three-point shooter in the league in Duncan Robinson percentage-wise. Nobody knew who Kendrick Nunn was, and nobody knew that Tyler Hero was going to make this impact that he's making.
Yeah.
Then you add Iggy and Jay Crowder and trades,
and
like
the leap of Bam Adebayo.
Dragic is balling.
Dragic is good.
Yeah, like you got I'm in love with this Miami team because
and they play hard.
You know that they pass the ball. They pass the ball more than any team in the NBA.
I'm not surprised.
So it's not like they're unselfish. They're a great team. They're unselfish. They're coached really well by Eric Spoelstra.
But honestly, like $100 on it, you taking Miami?
I mean, I'm not a betting man.
Well, if you had to bet.
I'm not a betting man, so I wouldn't bet. If I had to bet, I don't even think I'd bet on the series because I think it's too unpredictable. I can't put my money on Milwaukee, and I can't put my money on Miami because they don't have the star power.
Yeah.
But Milwaukee has that star, but that star, I mean, if Giannis doesn't win a finals this year, doesn't get to the finals, we're going to be talking about a player that may be overrated, even though he has 2 MVPs and a Defensive Player of the Year. Like, if he gets an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, that's going to be like the first time somebody's got it since Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And we know he's nowhere near the level of impact as Jordan.
He's not better.
So he's getting these same accolades, and we're putting him in a conversation like me. If we're talking about top 5 players, I don't even have him in my top 5.
Damn,
Giannis,
you're bugging.
I mean, no, everybody's entitled to their own
10?
opinion.
Oh, of course, top 10.
You gotta get him.
But okay, top 5: LeBron.
Okay,
in order. This is in order.
This is not in order.
Just these are the 5 players that are better than him.
Kawhi.
Okay, LeBron, Kawhi,
Harden.
Oh, okay.
He's a Harden fan. I got Luka.
Okay,
I got Luka over him.
Okay,
and then who's the other one? I'm forgetting about one more guy.
Anthony Davis,
Kevin Durant.
Just naming players. Dame?
No, yeah. I take Kevin Durant over Giannis.
Healthy Kevin Durant.
If we're talking about everybody healthy, Giannis might not be top 5.
Yeah,
because you got Steph, KD, LeBron, Kawhi, Harden.
Off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook?
No, not Westbrook.
Westbrook's still good. He's no slouch. He's still pretty good.
And I guess Harden is debatable in that 5th spot. But I personally feel like Harden got robbed last year with the MVP. I mean, he had a historic season.
He did. 30 for 30. Bro, that was nuts.
36 points per game.
You're a huge Harden fan.
No, I love James Harden. I love James Harden.
He's his favorite player of all time.
Damn.
He's good, though. He's a great player.
I'll tell you why. When I used to play 2K, I played 2K16, and I played this online this GM league, and the player I drafted was Harden because he just fell, so I just drafted him. I swear, he was the most unstoppable player in the game. I was averaging 50 with him. I was really dominated with him. And ever since then, I loved Harden. Because I feel like he's one of the most underappreciated players in the NBA right now.
He really is. And I've watched your videos. Obviously, you're a big Harden fan. You can't knock him. Unreal talent. He's changed the game. That step back, side step back. All these young guys are adapting it. So he's changed the game. He's living his prime was Warriors prime. So there was nothing he could do. He every year, exactly. I think Houston's GM was like, every year I wake up and my first goal is how do I beat the Warriors?
To construct a team to beat the Warriors.
James, they were up what? You were up 3-1 when Chris Paul got hurt?
3-2.
Yeah. Chris Paul not hurt. You got a shot. You got a clear shot of beating those Warriors.
And you want to know what's the thing that kind of hurts the most is that instead of fans appreciating a GM and a team to say, we're going to go up against these juggernauts. Because every team was tanking for like 2-3 years and waiting for the dynasty to play out.
Oh, yeah.
The Rockets were the only team that said, nah, we're going to try to beat these guys. Yeah. If we lose, we lose.
And I think they were the closest team to almost beat them.
They were.
Back-to-back years.
They were closer than LeBron when LeBron had Kyrie and K-Love.
There was one year where Houston was the number 1 seed in the entire Western Conference. Yeah.
No
way. They won 65 wins.
And let me tell you, you know what's crazy? They made more threes that season than Golden State made that season. So they literally constructed a team to play the exact same way as Golden State to try to shoot.
But they couldn't beat him.
Almost got him. If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt,
you can make a case.
No, there's an outstanding case that they could have won that series. They might have not won in 6, but I definitely, with home court advantage that year, they probably would have won in 7. That was the game where they fucking missed like 27 shots
in a row.
Yeah. I think if Chris Paul's there with his demeanor, with his experience, I think he's going to try to, rally everybody, calm down,
Point God.
Yeah, man, take control of the game. That's what Houston was missing. And, a lot of people didn't point that out, but Chris Paul, you see what he's doing in OKC. He's a great veteran player.
He's amazing.
I don't know if you noticed, but every time you see OKC rushing or doing anything or blowing a lead or another team goes on a large run, Chris Paul rallies everybody. He rallies everybody, talks to them, boosts their morale, and that helps. And I think if, Chris Paul was there, seeing Harden and everybody struggling to shoot the 3, all right, guys, relax. Let's try to get into the paint. Let's try to draw some fouls. The 3 will come.
He's been there. That's why. He's been there. What he got? He got 06? He got drafted?
Chris Paul was drafted
Rookie of the Year, right? 2005
like that? 2005. He was drafted with Darren Williams.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Same draft class.
Oh, yeah.
The Warriors, you can't knock them. Like, unreal. They were just unstoppable.
Nobody could beat them.
It was a 2-headed monster, and they were 73-9. And when the
Kevin
3-headed monster came in, it was like,
it's ridiculous.
Like, let's wrap up the season, you know? But they were fortunate. Kawhi hurt, up 25.
Yeah.
Chris Paul hurt. Kyrie, Kevin Love, all those guys hurt. Now, if they were all healthy, who knows? Maybe they would have won, but
they got karma for that last year in the finals with how many people they had out.
Yeah,
Klay Thompson was out. Kevin Durant ruptures his Achilles.
What are the odds, man? The 1 year LeBron doesn't make the finals.
Yeah, it happens.
It's crazy.
I wish.
One more, man. One more for Bron, and he's the second best player ever.
James Harden is underappreciated. He does draw a lot of fouls. I know that gets a lot of fans upset, but I mean,
he's dirty, man.
Nice. Every great scorer draws a lot of fouls.
James Harden's nice.
So
man.
It's crazy that like fans want to take. They're like, oh, take away Harden's free throws. Then let's do it for Luka. Let's do it for KD. Let's do it for
take away
every great scorer.
If you take away Harden's free throws, he's still number 1 in the NBA in scoring.
Yeah,
it's like 29, 30 points per game. That 1 year he almost won. That 1 year he should have won MVP. But
he's been robbed. I don't know about robbed because Curry that 1 year you got to give it to him.
Unanimous, 16. Yeah, of course.
And then I think it was
this year. I mean, I know he was in the race right for a little bit, James Harden, but this was Giannis's year. Last year they gave it to Giannis because his team had the best record in the NBA.
I think last year was very narrative driven, and the reason why it was is because I remember in the middle of the season, they were coming out with documentaries about like Giannis. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the documentary was called Finding Giannis.
Yeah, I remember.
And the documentary was scouts literally going to Greece or wherever Giannis was playing and scouting him.
Yeah.
So they were coming out with documentaries about Giannis and this whole background about like how he grew up poor as hell to where he is now. So everybody was like, oh, man. We want this guy.
I mean, for the most part, if we're being honest, everybody at this table knows around the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo is probably a more likable player than James Harden just because of his style of play.
For
so
sure.
That matters too.
Likable amongst the media.
Yeah, definitely. And the media drives a lot of these
NBA
votes.
Players voted Harden as the MVP. Yeah. They voted for him as the MVP in 2015 and last year. Lou Will was on Gilbert Arenas podcast, and Lou Will was question. Like, "It's no question, it's James Harden."
Yeah,
like no question. But obviously, like the media, they question it, and they're gonna pick Giannis. But okay, so
it was close though. It was.
I don't think it was close.
It was close, dude.
I think it was like a landslide in Giannis's favor last year.
No. Like in general, like like people's votes. It was close. Like you could have gave like you got anything against Giannis winning it last year, or you think he deserved it?
Oh, I do. I got a lot about Giannis winning it. I do.
Giannis.
I do.
I don't even think he should have won defensive player. I personally like AD.
Hell yeah.
AD
should have won.
And I think LeBron should win it this year, personally.
MVP? Well, you're a LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron. I would love for that to happen,
but
he's not going to
I've been honest. I've been honest. Like that Russell Westbrook year, you got to give it to him. Triple-double. James Harden, Curry. I've been honest. But this year, I think LeBron is the best player in the league.
Okay. That's fair. It's not anything that's crazy. What's the next topic?
So the next topic is the Celtics and Raptors. So the Celtics blew out the Raptors yesterday. So, I mean, it's just game one. We know that game ones go like this.
Yeah.
So, do you think based off game one or just for the whole series that the Celtics are pretty much going to run away with this series? Or do you think that this series is going to go the lengths into 7 games?
You remember JP from Costco, don't you?
Of course.
Okay, me and JP.
Shout out JP.
JP, yeah. We bet on this series like the day before game one even started, and I had Boston beating them in 6. I'm not going to base an entire series off game one because I've seen a lot of teams win game one. Hence, Boston last year when they beat Milwaukee game one, Milwaukee came to smoke them out of the water the next 4 games and send them home. So, I'm going to stick with Boston winning. Game one is not going to really make me believe that they can run away from this series because on the other side of on the other side of the court, you have Nick Nurse, Coach of the Year. You got a nice Raptors team who came off a championship. Kawhi Leonard was the MVP, but a lot of people underrate how good that team was, all around. Fred VanVleet took a step forward this year. Kyle Lowry's playing really well. Pascal blossomed into that number 1 role. Norman Powell. You got a team that with players that are developing, getting better. So, no, I don't think this is a runaway series. I do think Boston will win because at the end of the day, I kind of do think Boston has a little more star power than them. Jaylen Brown's phenomenal. Jason Tatum's phenomenal. Kemba Walker's really good. I just think they just have a slightly better team. Coaching-wise, I mean, you can say Nick Nurse. Brad Stevens is absolutely no slouch as a head coach either. 5. Easily. So I just think just based off talent and everything, aligned, I think Boston has it in 6. But, Toronto's Toronto. They're defending champs. And I know they don't have Kawhi, but this is still a team on paper and with the eye test that you most certainly have to respect. So game one is not going to change my mind on who I think is winning. It's not going to make me think that the Celtics can run away because I guarantee you on a Nick Nurse-led team, Toronto's not going to come out like how they did in game 1, game 2. So I still have Boston at 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto ran away, But not ran away, but won this series.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, after game 1, at first I couldn't call it. This was honestly like
it's a tough series.
Well matched, coach for coach.
Yeah.
I guess you say you go as far as your best player can take you. That's the saying.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum or Siakam. I got Tatum the slight edge.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna say C's in 6 or 7 because I expect Toronto to bounce back. But I do disagree with you about game 1. 1 seed versus 8th seed. Game 1 was nothing. Like when Lillard, when the Blazers beat the Lakers and the Magic beat the Bucks. We all knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But this late with teams this good, there's small room for error.
To come
Every
out like
game is like on the line, so you got to come out strong. So that's a big momentum for
Boston.
for the C's. So I think star power, Kemba, Jaylen Brown's been stepping up big time. Jason Tatum's the best player on the team. I thought I was going to give it a Kemba come playoff because of experience. Kemba's been in the league for years. But Jason Tatum is
but experience off playoffs, though, Kemba has...
In the league.
No, he said in the league.
In the league.
But playoffs is different, though.
I think Kemba his whole career has only been in the playoffs twice.
playoffs is different, but I'd still give it to Kemba because Kemba give you 50 any night. Like
he could
50.
Yeah,
no,
Kemba.
I say 30, but 50?
Kemba could have a game
Like-
where he erupts.
like Kemba-
he
no,
really
he
could.
can, but like,
I mean,
how often?
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's
No, I'm
not
just saying like next next
You're
game,
saying any given game,
Yeah.
Kemba Walker could be the best player.
in the
Okay,
team,
yeah, I
and go
agree.
for 50, like Jamal Murray, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as likely anymore because Brad Stevens likes to share the ball,
You
and
got Jason Tatum.
the C's have always traditionally been a team. You know, like
Yeah.
the 08 team, that was like a team. But I'm not sold once Kawhi. Everyone knows they won because Kawhi Leonard was on that team.
He's the best player on the team. I agree. I agree.
This is gonna game 2 is gonna tell us a lot about how the Raptors are built. Let's see if Nick Nurse, how well he uses that footage, because you get 1 day, rest, and that's it. You get ready to play.
Fact.
So let's see how well they rest, and let's see how well they view tape. But I got season
in 6 or 7, right?
I got season 6.
Okay.
The reason I don't take game 1 so seriously
Sick 'em.
is because you were right about the point you made where there's no room for error. But I think this is a different situation. That these players just came off of this boycott and all of the civil unrest that's going on.
Right.
So, like, the Raptors, they came into this and they're kind of still mentally in that phase. Even I think after the game, Kyle Lowry mentioned it, or somebody on the Raptors mentioned it, how, like, they weren't really focused on the game because just a couple of days ago, they didn't even know if they were going to continue the season.
Yeah.
So you already checked out and you're, thinking about something else. And now you're telling these players to get back into playoff mode. So it took them time to adjust. But do I think that Toronto can beat the Celtics 2 times in a row? I definitely do.
Yeah, of course.
They beat them 2 times in a row. That 2-1,
And we're talking about
doesn't
something
matter.
completely different.
So, same thing that's happening with Denver and the Jazz now. 3-1. Jamal Murray going off 2 games in a row.
But-
now it's game 7.
But to everybody's point, nobody had Utah, at least in our podcast, being up 3-1.
Nobody.
I
No
didn't-
one.
I didn't
had
have
them
them at
losing
all.
in 6. They said they were going to get swept or losing 5.
I said 5.
I'd say 5 or 6.
Donovan Mitchell is one
Donovan
of my
Mitchell-
favorite players.
Yeah,
so,
but you got a special place in your heart for Mitchell.
I love him.
He's a
beast.
baller.
I like him.
He's a
good player.
baller.
He's a good player.
But 3-1 up 15 in game 5. That series should have been over.
They should have been
Jamal
over.
Murray.
It
though.
should have been a sweep because game 1,
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell got that 8-second violation with a minute 19
Damn.
left. That killed momentum. But what were you saying?
Oh, I thought you were talking.
Oh, no. I'm going to let you finish your point about the Celtics. You said that you think the Toronto Raptors, you wouldn't be surprised if they win 2
if
straight.
they come back
No,
2-1.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
Neither.
win
Good
2
coach.
straight. And then we're talking about a different series, like JC said.
Yeah.
This series is really hard to call.
It is.
The thing about this year that's so different from other years is that this year there is no real favorite. Like
Yeah.
you
In the
got
East.
like in the East, but even kind of in the West, because the Clippers, they have a stacked roster.
You're talking like
but
Warriors
they have
favorite?
like
Oh,
Warriors
no,
favorite.
nobody. It's
the past 3
pretty
years, we knew who was gonna win.
Yeah, or at least
We knew
yeah.
who was gonna win.
Yeah.
Who was gonna win.
Even in the East, we kind of knew
That
you know
LeBron?
it was gonna be LeBron. And then last year, it was going to be Giannis or Toronto.
Yeah.
One of those two, and Philly was in the mix too. But this year, like, I feel like all of these teams in the East can make the finals. Miami,
Yeah.
Milwaukee, Boston,
It's going
Toronto.
to be crazy.
All of these teams can make the finals. So I know that Boston has a star power. I love Toronto, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
really
like Nick
I
Nurse.
love
Why?
Toronto.
He loves Nick Nurse.
I love Toronto.
Nick Nurse is dope. But
Yo,
Toronto,
bro, you kind of look like Nick Nurse.
Yeah, stop playing, bro. Yo, I get told I look like Gordon Hayward and Luca. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, that
Drini texted me the other day. He was like, "Yo, when he hit that game-winning 3, he was like, "Yo, you kind of look like him." I was like, "Yo, stop playing." Anyway,
Nah, man, but you got the glasses, man.
Yo.
I'm telling you. You wait 30 years to get his age, bro.
I'm
You
trying
take
to
a
be like Nick Nurse.
side-by-side
I'm trying to
pick.
coach. I'm trying to coach Miami.
Nah, man, but it's like I love Toronto, but I also understand that Boston has they have more offensive firepower and they could probably match their defense. Because outside of Kawhi and Paul George, who's the best wing tandem in the NBA? It's probably Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
Like wing
Pretty
tandem is probably Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This is gonna be a tough series. I'm gonna say It's a 7-game series, and I think that Toronto pulls it out.
Okay.
I think Toronto pulls it out in
They
7.
better come out strong.
Next
if
game.
they go down 2-0,
It's going to look really bad.
Rocky.
I think that championship experience plays a huge
It helps.
part.
That definitely helps.
I really do think so.
It does.
People
but
forget that, although Kawhi was the best player on the team, a lot of those players were on that team last year and playing in those dogfight games.
Yeah,
so
but
they
take Kawhi out the equation. What's Toronto looking like in the playoffs
last year
in general? They
I don't
can't.
think they're going to go to the finals.
Toronto are shaky
I
in
think
the
look,
playoffs, man.
I think this is a
This is
really
a
really
different
good
team,
team.
though.
This is a really good team.
Who's their best player?
This isn't
Pascal.
this isn't DeRozan.
No, this
and
is definitely not a
DeMar
DeRozan
Carroll,
led team. This is a Nick Nurse led
Jonas
with all these
Valanciunas.
good players.
If DeMar was on this team, I'd go with Raptors because DeMar could ball. But you take out DeMar, you add DeMar to this team. I'm saying don't switch, nothing. Just add DeMar.
Oh, then you would pick them to
I
win the
got the
series?
Raptors. I mean, yeah, but no.
Yo, this is a hot take, but I feel like the defense and the 3-point shooting that Van Vliet gives you,
He's nice.
I take that over DeRozan's impact on the court.
You're nuts.
DeRozan is a mid-range scorer.
DeRozan's a baller. That's
Like, he's
what
a
he is.
mid-range. He can't play defense. He's a mid-range scorer.
And nah. But let's be real, let's be real. DeMar DeRozan be choking OD.
Yeah,
You
but
were
that's
saying
what
that
I'm
you,
saying.
You just pointed out that this is a Raptors team that has
that chokes.
It was led by that man,
Yeah.
Yannick Ngakoue, though.
Anyway,
you know
all
much
right.
about him?
A bit. I know he's a pass rusher. He's an All-Pro, I believe.
Was he an All-Pro?
I think so.
Or at least a Pro Bowler?
I think a Pro Bowler. I'm not sure about all Pro.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's definitely good though. He's definitely a good player.
Yeah.
No, he's a really good young pass rusher. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Minnesota just traded for him. I don't know if you guys know the backstory, but the backstory about this is that Yannick was very disgruntled with Jacksonville's front office because their front office has traded away Jalen
It's
Ramsey.
incompetent.
And
Horrible.
I think 2017 they had one of the best defenses.
They had the best defense
now
in the league.
they've totally bottomed out. They're tanking. It's obvious. Yannick doesn't want to play there anymore. He was going to sit out the season. He was going to sit out the season. So Minnesota trades for him, and he wanted out of Jacksonville so bad that he took a $6 million pay cut to join the Vikings. And the Vikings gave up, I think, a second-round pick and some other kind of like late or mid-round pick. So, yeah, I mean, something's going on in Jacksonville. And they're probably tanking. I don't know why, because I really love Gardner Minshew. I think he's a really solid quarterback, probably a franchise quarterback. So I really don't know what's going on right now with the Jaguars, but I think this is a great move for the Vikings.
Being what Joel said about, the Jaguars tanking and all these players wanting to get out, I definitely agree. This was a team that was in the AFC Championship just a couple years ago against your Patriots.
Yeah.
They were
nasty defense.
If the ball bounced different, they could have won that game. They kind of blew that. Blake Bortles and squad blew that game. That was very bad. They could have went to the Super Bowl. But I just want to say, like,
thank God.
In the grand scheme of things, it's just crazy how far this team has came. Because around the 2017 season, I was looking at them when I'm a Jets fan. I look at the schedule and I'm like, yo, the Jaguars are a really, really nice team. And every year they get slightly worse and worse and worse. And now they've just gotten rid of everybody that was their nucleus for their defense. So I think it's a really good move from Minnesota. They lost Everson Griffin. They get him for nothing. That's how bad he wanted it. He wanted less money to get out of there. So they got him for nothing.
I wouldn't say nothing.
Well, not for nothing, but they definitely got him for cheaper than what he's worth. He literally took a $6 million pay cut to go. But I agree with Joel. A lot of problems lie in Jacksonville. It's clear they're tanking. They just released Leonard Fournette today. This team is not far from removed to me as being the worst team in the NFL.
Man. It probably is.
They probably are. So, I mean, I feel bad for the Jags. They went from could have been a championship contender, and it just blew up. And now, look at them now. 2020, coming into the season, losing everybody. Nobody wants to play for them. You lose him. He's a young stud. I mean, you got to pack it up now. If it's not
season,
it's 100. No, they're not gonna try.
Pandemic and tank.
They're so bad that they're gonna have no choice to tank. Their skill and everything is just not gonna match up. So something's definitely going on in Jacksonville.
So because of this, because Vikings made this move, who do you have winning the NFC North? It's between the Vikings, the Bears, the Packers, and the Lions.
Yeah.
Who do you have winning the division?
Well, just to summarize a bit on Yannick, I think, and the Jaguars, I think that the Jaguars have never really been that good. Like everyone knows, like they're nothing. That year they made the AFC Championship, I bet the odds, Vegas odds for plus 10,000. There's no way. Like I looked, I was like, the Jaguars. I was like, we're definitely going to the Super Bowl. But you're right. Blake Bortles, way below average quarterback. If they had a glimpse, an average quarterback, they had a shot because their defense was that good. But they let go of Jalen Ramsey. Jalen was probably
the top 3 corner in the game. No, he is a top 3 corner in the game.
And he was vocal about the organization and like cut me pretty much. He went to the Rams. That's a smart move. Yannick took a $6 million cut in an NFL in a pandemic, so you're really not getting paid. So that shows you. I just think that the Vikings. So to move forward to who's going to win it, I think the Vikings are always at like 10-6, maybe 11-5 team, but they're no sleeper. Like they bounced the Saints last year. I had them going to the Super Bowl, and they bounced them.
Joe said, "Ooh,
yeah." That was there's
surprising.
No shot. What's his name? Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins should have outplayed Drew Brees and the best wide receiver in football, Michael Thomas, in the dome. That should not have happened. I don't know what happened. So I'm gonna say the Vikings because I think Aaron Rodgers is a little deflated right now, and I think he's gonna have to carry the Green Bay Packers big time. Devontae Adams, nice. Devontae Adams top 5 in the game, but I think defense wins you games and championships. So I'm gonna go Vikings.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm going the Lions.
Okay.
I got the Lions winning division, and this is why. Because first, I'm gonna name everything wrong with every team in the NFC North.
Okay.
Because this division is probably going to be the closest division in football. You know, the closest division in football usually the closest division in football is usually the NFC East, right?
The Giants,
not recently, but it was. That division now is the NFC North. Green Bay, they lost their leading tackler Blake Martinez.
Big loss.
They lost Brian Bulaga to the Chargers. What was their biggest weakness last year? Stopping the run, and they don't have any wide receiver outside of Devontae Adams.
Very true.
What do? They lose Jimmy Graham. Now their starting tight end is a 36-year-old Mercedes Lewis. He might be 37. He only had 135 yards receiving last year. You didn't add a wide receiver. They added Devin Funchess. He opted out of the NFL season because of COVID. So you didn't add a wide receiver. In the most stacked wide receiver class, you drafted a project quarterback in the first round and a running back in the second round when you have an 1,000-yard rusher in Aaron Jones. So they totally mismanaged there. You can't stop the run. When you can't stop the run, it's because your linebackers are bad. They let go of all their better linebackers, and what they got in return is Christian Kirksey, who's probably not an upgrade. Then let's go to Minnesota. You lose Stephon Diggs.
That's big. That's
true.
Adam Thielen had an off year last year. He averaged,
got hurt though.
Yeah, but he only averaged 41 yards per game receiving in the games that he played. So he's your number one now. Who's your real number 2? You really don't know.
Calvin Cook, I would say. Like, just
Dalvin Cook,
in general.
Their player, yeah, but receiver is probably a rookie, Justin Jefferson. Do you trust a rookie? I'm not sure. Then you look at the Vikings offensive line. To get Yannick, they had to cut their right tackle or the left tackle, Riley Reef. He's not that good, but he's their best option.
Yeah.
So now you don't even have somebody to protect Kirk Cousins' blind side. Their biggest problem is the offensive line. They didn't address it. A strong defense. They got a little bit stronger, you can say, but they also lost all their corners. Mackenzie Alexander, Trey Waynes, Xavier Rhodes.
They lost Mackenzie Alexander?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they lost all of their corners, and now they're hoping that these young ones step up. So their weaknesses on their team are corners, offensive line,
linebackers,
and Dalvin Cook is injured a lot. He's never had a full season.
Ever.
So, and their schedule is tough. Like, their schedule is tough. I think each team in the division is facing the 49ers, the Saints, the Titans, the Colts, the Texans. Like, each team has a really tough schedule. The Vikings face Dallas too. Dallas isn't going to be a slouch this season. Now let's go on to the Bears. The Bears elite defensively, but who's your quarterback?
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell a team like Every team in this division has a good quarterback. Stafford, Cousins, Rodgers, and then Trubisky/Foles. They haven't even named their starting quarterback. That means that both of these quarterbacks have been bad in camp. Trubisky can't outplay Foles, and Foles can't outplay Trubisky. So what is going on here? If you can't score, you can't win. And there's proof in that with the Jaguars. They had one of the best defenses we've seen in recent history. Their offense was so bad.
Same thing with the Jets.
That they couldn't win games.
Same thing with the Jets years ago. Elite defensively, we had a rookie, Mark Sanchez. Terrible.
Oh, way like 10 years ago.
Those problems are alive and well, especially with the Bears.
It's on to the Lions. Their biggest weakness last year was defense, right? Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford played like an elite quarterback last year.
He missed games, right? Stafford last year?
Yeah, he did. They could have started 4-1 or 5-0 realistically. The first game was tied against Arizona. They should have won. They blew the lead. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Eagles. They started out 2-0-1. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Chiefs in like a miraculous down to the wire game. They should have won that game. And then on Monday Night Football, they got robbed against the Packers in like 2 bogus face hands to the face penalties. Mm-hmm. So they could have realistically started 4-0 or 5-0, or 4-1 and 5-0. So their defense, they get Jamie Collins from the Patriots, really good linebacker. They get Danny Shelton. They get Desmond Trufant from the Falcons. Mm-hmm. They get Deron Harmon, a safety from the Patriots. He's a really good safety too. They draft a cornerback, 3rd overall, in Jeff Okudah, who's going to be a stud in the NFL. They have a good slot in Justin Coleman. Their linebackers are iffy, but they have all the good surrounding parts, and I think this is a year that the Lions take this division. It's going to be close, but then you look at their offense. Kerryon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, I think 2nd or 1st round pick. DeAndre Swift, I think he was a 2nd round pick. Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola. They have a pretty good offensive line.
Elite quarterback.
Matt Stafford.
He's not elite.
No, I think Stafford is great.
If he's not elite, he's borderline because he's a really good quarterback.
He's above average, but he's not.
No,
elite.
Stafford is great. Stafford is great. Stafford is great.
What's the farthest he's gone?
It's not about that. In football, it's not about that.
It is
not about
that.
No,
he only made the playoffs once in his career.
It made it playoff once.
I think twice.
It's a quarterback-driven league, and you made the playoff twice.
That's false, and I'll tell you why that's false. It's false because football is a team game. When you're playing for the Detroit Lions, who before Matt Stafford got there went 0-16, it's really hard to bring that franchise into relevance, especially in a division that has Aaron Rodgers, one of the better quarterbacks of all time playing there, who's probably going to win the division every other year.
Yeah,
this is the year for Detroit. This is the year for Detroit, and they're going to do it.
It's definitely quarterback living. Who's the last non-MVP quarterback?
No, it's a quarterback-driven league, but quarterbacks cannot win without a great team.
Yeah, of course.
And Matthew Stafford has never had a great team. I don't think
that's true.
He's
never had a great team.
I don't think any
not
year.
A great team. Man. I don't think had a great.
But do you think he has a great team this year?
He doesn't have a great team, but he has a good team. But everybody in the NFC North doesn't have a great team. They all have huge flaws, and I think the best team that's well surrounded, like that's surrounding their quarterbacks, the best is the Lions this year.
So where do they go?
I think they win the division 9-7 or 10-6.
Damn.
Because I see the Bears going 5-11 or 6-10.
All right.
I see the Vikings going 7-9. I see the Packers going 8-8, and I see the Lions.
Wow.
I see them going 10-6, 9-7. It's gonna be a close division. It's gonna be really close. But I got Detroit.
What's it called? Stafford can't lose any of those division games. Then he got to go nearly undefeated. You think he could? I mean, definitely 2-0 against the Bears, and then you think he go 2-1, 2-0 against these two?
No, he won't go 2-0.
1-1 maybe.
I think they'll split.
They'll split. All right.
Every division game's tough, regardless of
it is.
Every division game. Like I've seen the Jets take
the
Patriots
Pats,
down to the wire,
Jets, Bills
multiple times, but the better team ends up winning.
Matthew Stafford throughout his career, the question mark with him was he can't be great without Calvin Johnson. Well, he doesn't have Calvin Johnson. He was great with Golden Tate and Marvin Jones.
Yeah, they're good.
He's great with Golladay now. I think Doug Baldwin, or it wasn't Doug Baldwin, it was Golden Tate. Golden Tate said that Matthew Stafford was the best quarterback that he's ever played with, and he played with Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. So that's saying something about Matthew Stafford. Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford is no slouch.
Definitely not.
He's no slouch.
He's not a slouch.
You put him on the 49ers. The 49ers won that Super Bowl last year.
Don't cap.
No, he's better. I think he's better than Jimmy G.
Cap.
Jimmy G's
No way.
Bro, Jimmy G's overrated, bro. He's a little overrated.
No way.
No, he really is.
Jimmy G's nice. Don't get me
he's
wrong.
I'm not saying
Stafford,
he's whack,
though.
but no,
Stafford's better than Jimmy. Don't get me wrong.
But I think it's by far he's better
No,
than him.
it's not by far.
It is by far.
I think it's by far. He has a better arm. He's doing it with less talent. He doesn't have 3 split running backs like they have. He doesn't literally have anything at his disposal, including a great head coach that Jimmy G has. So I don't think it's close.
He's not. He's definitely not elite. I don't think he's ever been elite in the NFL.
I think he's had a 5,000-yard passing season.
Yeah, but those are just numbers. I'm talking about you got to win.
Numbers.
You got to win.
I think he went 9-7 that year.
Exactly.
That's a good record.
That's elite.
That's a positive record.
It's not elite, man.
It's an elite season.
Elite
for a
is like 13-3, 12-4.
So the season.
So 41 touchdowns and 16 picks with 5,000 yards. That's not elite. That's not a great season.
He's individual wise.
Just look at the consistency outside of his rookie year. Outside of his rookie year, he's always had great ratings, good touchdown to interception ratio.
He's good. He's not great.
He's great
in my eyes.
He's literally that team is so bad.
They're pretty bad.
That organization is so bad, and the fact that he's even willing to give you these type of numbers and even make Lions games worth watching says a lot. Because let me tell you something. Like if you really pay attention and you watch Matt Stafford, he has a great arm.
That's what he's known for.
He has a
number one pick.
cannon. He has a cannon, and he was the number 1 pick. I wish every day we had the number 1 pick that dropped to pick him over Mark Sanchez.
Damn.
09.
You took Sanchez?
No, he came off the board first.
One.
We had the 3rd pick, so we picked Mark Sanchez. I mean, if he would have fallen to us, Jets
would have won the Super Bowl.
With the Jets.
Yeah, Stafford.
Why not?
Stafford?
Why not? So we didn't go to back-to-back AFC championships with Mark Sanchez. He didn't play awful outside of his rookie year. His second year, he was just average, just an average quarterback.
Yeah.
You add Matthew Stafford, who's infinitely better than him, who can throw the ball better, who has better weapons, who has an elite defense, which he's never been surrounded. He's never been surrounded with a team as good as Mark Sanchez did.
He's not winning a Super Bowl. They got a shot. They got a shot of making
winning's the stretch, but getting there, we could definitely get there with him. He was our quarterback instead of Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, for sure. You got a tough ride. We beat you
guys with Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, I know. You had Brady.
That was the last time. That's the last time we won a playoff game.
Ben.
Jeez.
You got Brady, Ben, and Peyton. You got to go through those.
Yeah. They did go through 2 of them.
We did.
But not
every year we went through 2 of them. We went through Phillip Rivers one year. Then we went through Carson Palmer. Got stopped
Who's
by
better,
Manning.
Phillip Rivers or Stafford?
It's really close. But
Exactly. That should tell you a lot.
Phillip Rivers is great. He's a Hall of Famer.
He's not bad.
Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer, but he's nothing like...
The Chargers are a bad organization.
Oh my God, Phillip Rivers is on the field like we're in trouble. Like Phillip Rivers, 2-minute warning. No one's shaking that. But Phillip Rivers is
I'm not gonna lie. I agree with that. 2-minute warning. I'm not really.
You're not. You're like
no. I'm being honest. I think that when you game plan for Phillip Rivers,
though.
You game plan for Phillip Rivers.
Of course, he's your franchise. There's a lot of those quarterbacks in the league that you game like he just got paid $25 million for a year.
Is he better than Big Ben and Eli?
Who?
Phillip?
Phillip is better than Eli.
Maybe Eli. But those 2 rings are big. I'll give you that.
Even Ben is close.
Those 2 bigs.
I don't think it's close between. I mean, look, statistically, you could argue it. I would give the slight edge to Ben Roethlisberger, though. That's just me. Personally, that's just me.
I think it's really close. I really do.
It's close, but he's not.
Phillip Rivers has so many turnovers for me sometimes. He's had some of the highest turnover seasons that I could ever remember. Ben too. But to his credit, I mean, outside of a couple years with LaDainian Tomlinson, he's had some good teams. But it's a fact that Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning, for the most parts, have been granted better teams than Phillip Rivers. But I mean, if I think Big Ben is better than Phillip. I think Phillip as a talent is better than Eli Manning. But like you said, those 2 Super Bowl rings against the greatest quarterback of all time help him. Mm-hmm. I think you specifically would be talking about Phillip Rivers different had he won a championship.
Of course, anyone's different. But, win a championship.
But you can't blame him not winning anything.
I really
he wasn't surrounded with great pieces for his entire career.
I really think football is different from any other sport. Football, when you talk about championships, you have to talk about football in the same breath that you talk about a sport like soccer or baseball, where championships don't make that player, because football is the ultimate team game.
It is.
And so is soccer, so is baseball. It's the ultimate. It's not like basketball where you can have a LeBron just dominate everybody and will your team. Football Brady. Is just not like
Patrick Mahomes.
Football, you need your blockers to be in sync. You need your receivers to catch. You need your defense to hold up leads. And if we're being honest, a lot of these quarterbacks that have been great, Stafford included, he always has a bottom 20 defense in the NFL, bottom 10 defense in the NFL. Yeah. So he always has one of the worst defenses. He has to put up enormous amount of points, and you can't judge them fairly.
Every time I see a Lions game, well, for the most part, I notice that Matthew Stafford's always playing from behind. You know, he's never has the lead. And in the NFL, if you're playing from behind and you're down big, you're going to be forced to sling the football. So I mean, look, I agree with Joel. Matthew Stafford is, to me, he's a borderline great quarterback. He hasn't been granted anything outside of Calvin Johnson. Agree. Calvin Johnson retired early. What have they done since? Like, what have they done since? I think I agree with them. I think this is their best year to win a championship. Bears,
no, not a championship.
Pardon me. Division. Excuse me. The division. Bears, I agree with you. Bears have a quarterback dilemma. Aaron Rodgers, outside of last year, to me, he doesn't look like the same Aaron Rodgers as before.
They were 13-3.
He doesn't look like
with
the same
bad
Aaron Rodgers.
They were 13. No, they had a top 10 defense.
Joel.
They got smoked by San Fran.
Because San Fran was a better team. You want to know,
top to bottom, San Fran was definitely a better team.
This is a stat for you. Last year, Green Bay faced 5 playoff teams a whole year. This year, they're going to face 7. Last year, they were 8-1 in one-score games. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You don't win close games like that. They were 8-1 in one-score games. They got really lucky on a lot of those games.
Aaron Rodgers, to me, looked more of a game manager than ever before last year.
But I don't think it's because Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers. I think because the offense, Matt LaFleur's offense, they center around the running game, which is why they took a running back in the second round.
And then to go along with the Vikings, the loss of Stephon Diggs, all those corners, everybody else, I don't think that team's going to be the same. So, you know what? you definitely convinced me that I think if there's any shot at winning the division now, this is the Lions' best shot at winning the division.
Oh, dude.
So who did you have again before we move on to the next topic?
I got the Vikings on... Like by a game, if whoever wins the division games, I think they win the division.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's coulda, shoulda, woulda for Matt Stafford, and he's always on the subpar historically. But this year, let's see what he's got.
What's the next topic?
So, next topic is, what do you think is Jamal Murray's and Donovan Mitchell's ceiling?
Let's see. You want to go?
I mean, sure, I'll start it off. So by ceiling,
that's your boy.
Well, yeah, but
Mitch.
Jamal Murray is.
What is their maximum potential that they can reach?
Like
superstar, all-star. What is it?
Start with Murray.
I'll start with Jamal Murray. Wanted to say shout out to Jamal Murray. He's been absolutely
buckets, bro,
balling in this postseason. I've literally seen him take over games like a superstar can take over games. It should take over games. I think he has a good chance of becoming a superstar. My only thing with Jamal Murray is he's doing it at the most important time in the playoffs. But I want to see a season or two of him, averaging, 24, 26 points per game with, good assists, good field goal percentages.
What do you average
this year?
19.
Damn.
So he's definitely balled. He's definitely been balling out. I got to see that more in the regular season, postseason. He's showing me that he can score. And this series, would you say that he's been the best player on Denver? For sure.
He probably has been
by
the best.
Far.
Now, my only thing with Jamal Murray is playing it behind somebody like Nikola Jokic, who relatively is the best player on that team.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to really shine in, not that you're not going to be able to shine, but you're not going to be able to be the superstar. I think Nikola Jokic has, over the past couple years, even this last season, has proven that he's the best player on that team.
Sure.
I think Jamal Murray definitely has potential to be a superstar player in this league. He's only 23 years old. River said he couldn't get better. I don't know what that was about.
Yo, I saw that.
He said he couldn't get better.
They were down at the time.
They were
right?
down big. But definitely with the way he's a skillful player, can shoot the ball, can dribble, can get to the basket. He's an underrated passer. He has all the recipe to be a superstar or all-star level player going forward. Now moving on to Donovan Mitchell. Everybody knows how I feel about Donovan Mitchell. He's my favorite player.
You got his
behind
jersey?
LeBron. I do have his jersey behind LeBron. Donovan Mitchell, superstar.
For sure, in my eyes.
I don't know about for sure because
superstar in like top 10, top 5 player or top 10?
I'm talking like
top 15,
he's starting. Oh, I'll wait for my take.
Donovan Mitchell, outside the talent is there. The talent is there. We did a podcast episode I think last week saying that I think for him to reach his maximum potential, he has to leave Utah. He has to leave that team.
Arguably, yeah.
If he wins this series, that's another.
I don't know. You think so? Because I think Utah's building around Donovan. They want him to be
I just feel like, I don't know if you saw like what we've seen the reports. I don't know if you saw yesterday. I don't think Donovan Mitchell really likes Rudy Gobert. And I think that
they trade his ass.
They'll
trade Rudy Gobert.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Peace.
they trade Rudy Gobert, get other scorers, get another solid big man. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell definitely has the game to be a superstar level player in this game. When you're getting compared to Dwayne Wade, obviously, not as good so far. Obviously, not as good. But when you're getting compared to someone with the likes of Dwayne Wade,
you got to be doing something special.
You have to be doing something special. This year, he came off 25-5-5 season,
leading the playoffs in scoring.
Leading the playoffs in scoring.
He's averaging
this series. I don't know.
38.
Enlighten me. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So these two young ball players are studs. Very young. That's good. That's the good thing about both of them. I think they're both 23. Both definitely have the skill. But like I said, I want Jamal Murray to do it for a season or two. Be an all-star, be a certified all-star before I can make that. But so far, he's proven to me that he has the game because he's doing it on the biggest stage. Donovan Mitchell, he's already won a playoff series against 3 Hall of Fame players who none of us had Utah even going to the playoffs that year. And since his rookie year, it's safe to say that he's gotten better in every aspect of basketball. So, yeah, I do think one day that these or in the future that these two players can definitely be superstar players in the NBA.
For real. That was a great take, bro.
Yeah.
I'll start by, just to put it like my thoughts in perspective, both great players. I think Mitch is a better player all around. I think he's more complete.
Now.
Yeah.
I think Jamal, both 23 is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're
dude.
really young.
Ridiculous. The talent going forward is insane. Like NBA is in great hands. I think Murray, if he keeps this up, like you said, you guys obviously watched last game.
Yeah.
The rim looked like the ocean. This dude could not miss
at all.
There was a breakaway for Denver, 3-on-1. Jamal Murray stopped at the 3 and popped the 3. Like, that's a coach's nightmare. Like 3-on-1, you got to get a bucket.
Yeah.
But I think that Jamal
definitely has the game, the skill set.
Yeah, he's got everything in him. I just think time will tell. Like, we've seen these players that come and go, that they get like a 50 piece or a 40 piece, and we live in the moment. So we're like, oh my God, the new star.
We were living in the moment with TJ Warren in the bubble. I didn't forget.
Yeah,
a lot
like,
of people
come
were
on.
saying,
But I don't think anybody really believed in that moment.
You didn't believe in TJ Warren?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It was more like a
it was more of a meme. It was more of a meme.
But TJ Warren was definitely balling out. But
like, if to get 50 in the NBA, you got to be good.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it. But time will tell. Like, the Denver has been 2, 3, 4 seed the last couple of years. If
really
Jamal Murray can, take that next step, average 25, 26 with Nikola, and like actually be a threat. Like when you step on the court, people gotta be like, damn, like we this is serious. Like when the stars step in, like with LeBron, KD, the top 5, you gotta have that presence on the court. I think Jamal's ceiling is off the bench all-star. He can be on the all-star team for the West off the bench. Donovan Mitchell, I think I really like this kid. Like I really like this kid. He's special. If he can play defense, if Dwayne Wade's the best shot blocking guard the league has ever seen, but if Donovan Mitchell can play better defense, just a little better, honestly, not like lockdown. That's
gonna be hard though.
Because buckets, oh my God, he was flaming. Like no one on that Jazz team could score outside Donovan Mitchell. He was calling double, triple teams, dishing out, making the right play, bricks. So if Donovan Mitchell can get a star forward, like a 3 or a 4, and maybe a little better. Mike Conley's already on the older side. If he can get a better 2, I think you're right. They're building around the Jazz. They're willing to pay him for sure. They know you don't let go of Donovan Mitchell, just like they're not letting go of Luka. And I think the difference is Jamal starts the bench for the West All-Stars. I think Donovan Mitchell starts for the All-Star stars. That's the biggest difference.
So he's an all-star starter, all NBA level player.
Yeah,
see going forward. Okay, what do you think?
I think that both of these players are great.
You like Jamal Murray.
I like Jamal Murray,
he
but
does.
I don't think that any of these players are top 5 potential.
Right now or ever?
Even ever.
So let us
I
enlighten us.
Damn.
Even at Donovan Mitchell's best year, I don't think he's going to be considered a top 5 player. I don't think Jamal Murray will ever be considered a top 5 or 10 player. I think Jamal Murray could be an all-star. Donovan Mitchell could be like that cracking into the top 10
player.
Like when we look at the young talent, we look at Luka. He's young as hell. We look at Giannis. He's super young.
Zion Williamson.
We look at Trae Young. He's super young. We're not too sure about Trae Young yet, but his numbers show that he could be great.
He could ball.
Anthony Davis is going to be here for a long time as well.
Giannis.
Kawhi's only 27 or 28. He's going to be here for a while.
Ja Morant.
So it's Ja Morant. He's good too. Like there's just so much young talent.
Zion.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but that's East. You got to remember.
No, that's East, but I'm saying like top 10,
in
top
general,
5
like,
player in general. I don't ever see any of them cracking it. Donovan Mitchell has the best chance, but Donovan Mitchell probably be like in the 8th spot. Jamal Murray, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like it's going to be tough, but I think the talent in this league is just so good that right now, from what I'm seeing, all these young players, I don't think that they ever crack that top 5. Definitely not top 5. Top 10, maybe. It's huge, maybe though.
All right. Can I ask both of you a question if you agree on like with what I'm about to say? I need to see Jamal Murray do this for a season or two, averaging 24, 25. I can't just give him like a, you know. Do you agree, Joel? Like you need to see this for a full-on season.
Oh yeah, this is just the. I know playoffs mean a lot.
Playoffs mean a lot, but I need to see this for a season. I need to see. I don't need him to drop 50 every game, but I need him to be that 24, 25 points per game scorer. I need him to see that. I think we've seen that for Donovan Mitchell already, averaging 24, 25 this year. But my only concern with Jamal Murray is I just need to see this for a prolonged season or two, and then maybe we can start really talking. But does he have the potential to be a superstar or at least a really, really, really good player in this league? Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I think that they both got a lot of potential, but at the end of the day, we're gonna see. They're still young,
very young.
I think Mitch is close to top 5. Like he's almost there. For sure. He's
in the future, you can see it.
Yeah. Give him like 2 more years. If he doesn't crack it in 2 more years, I think you're right. He'll be like a top 8.
We'll see. Who do you guys, before we close up the segment, who do you guys got Game 7 tomorrow? This is a very...
Game 7, I got Denver.
Got Denver? Who do you have,
I think my head is telling me Denver because they're just 2 in a row now?
Yeah.
But I think my heart's telling me Jazz because the Jazz are right there, man. Yeah. Just close it out. Somebody else step up other than Mitch, and I think the Jazz. I'm gonna go with the Jazz.
I got the Jazz tomorrow too.
I'll go with the Jazz.
It's gonna be I think this is gonna be a Game 7 to remember. You know, we're gonna be talking about this like a couple years later down the line. Maybe they have a rivalry formed out of this because they're going at each other.
This is the best first round series so far.
Yeah,
hands down.
We'll see.
All right, so we're going to close off the show on that. So I want to thank you for being on the show and thank you for supporting the podcast. I see him. He's always active on Instagram or whatever. So I want to thank you for being on the show. Get the applause.
That's what's up.
All right, so we're going to close it off. Thank you, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.